I want to talk a little bit today about service. Behind me is a beautiful picture of a town in Italy where Joy and I visited some years ago. Hasn't been recently because of travel. We haven't done a lot of travel. Although, I know some people are starting to do that. And I've got 3 or 4 places to go later this year that I'm going to start traveling again. And I have spoken, I used to speak a lot before the pandemic, and now I have still spoken in a number of places during these years of being locked down and closed down. We're not locked down anymore, but the closed down restriction and all of the stuff. And getting back in the travel thing is going to be interesting because flights keep getting canceled and who knows? Are you traveling already? If you are, put a comment. Tell me where you've been and where you're going. Have you been doing any traveling? I haven't. I have, let's see, it's August right now. So next month I have a couple places to go. In October, a couple places. And so later this month, I've got one. So I've got one this month and a couple in September and a couple in October. So I've got about 5 places to go this year, which is kind of fun. But I haven't. And if you've traveled, I'm curious as to where you've gone and how you found the experience. Was it difficult? Did your flight get canceled? Was it a mess? Were there not enough people in the airport? All that kind of stuff. Were the lines long? How bad was it? Today I want to talk about service. Service we hear that all the time. Service, service, service. And if you're in the coaching business or anything related to it like I am, people are talking about it like crazy. And a lot of times you hear some good stuff, but a lot more times you hear a lot of nonsense and a lot of empty platitudes and a lot of words that just sort of are just words and they don't actually mean something. Service is not something I define as good for you. Service is something that actually helps you. So the person receiving it is the one that decides if it's service. Is it actually helping that person? So if I say, well, I'm serving all these people, and I say, well, I'm serving them because I'm giving them this and they ought to be, grateful or they ought to think it's good, I got news for you or me. That's gobbledygook. So here's what I'm inviting us to do as we talk about service today. Service, it has lots of connotations. Some people say selling is service. Some people view service as only something you do for free that's out of the goodness of your heart. Well, it can be all those things. Why don't we just, for the purposes of this conversation, define service as something that helps the receiver, something that benefits the person who got the service, right? We'll just define it that way. I get served. I got something in my tooth. Sorry. I get served sometimes when I read one of your posts. I read a post this morning and I liked it so much I saved the picture. So I was served by someone posting a particular thing. 7 commandments of something or other. And I know it's funny that I can't remember, but I just reviewed it a little while ago and I really liked it. And I thought, I need to remember that. Another way I got served is I got a book yesterday in the mail sent by a client. I love this man dearly. And he's a delightful human. And he, on his own volition, sent me a book. I read it. It was beautiful. I was served. Now, that involved a selfless act where he paid for a book and he paid for postage and he mailed it to me. Wow. What a thing, right? That was service. I loved it. I've done that. I've mailed people things. I'm sure you have too, right? I get the opportunity in my church to do service, and I'm part of the youth program. So they've asked me to participate with the young men. That's boys from 12 to 18, and I get a chance to do service there, meaning there's weekly activities on Thursday night. That'll be tomorrow night. And a couple of weeks ago, I think if you watched some lives, I went on a camp out for a few days, and we did some stuff that for me was pretty tough because of my ruined lungs. We had to climb part of the hike we did was climbing a 2 long, 150, when it was 150, when it was like 200 meters, very, very steep. So steep we had to use ropes and stuff to pull up with knots in them. And it was hard. I had to stop in the middle and catch my breath because my lungs are still buggered up from when I died 4 years ago. But anyway, And so that was an opportunity for service. And I had fun doing that service. And you know what? I have fun when I mail books for people. And I had fun when I received service. So service is an act that blesses the life of the receiver. Okay, so let's just define that. Service is an act that blesses the life of the receiver. Sometimes it's at small cost to the giver, sometimes it's at almost no cost, and sometimes it's at great cost to the receiver. Now, I can pay for service, and I do all the time. I go to a restaurant. Last night, we ordered sushi. So, we called them up, and the delivery service came after a while, and I paid for that service. It blessed the life of the receiver. We had a great meal. The rolls were great. The sashimi was great. Whatever that fried stuff is, I can't think of it right now, but that was great. So we had a great meal, and we paid for that service. Okay. Now, in the coaching business, and most of my friends and people who follow me are in the teaching and coaching business, not all of them, but many. And so you're in the service business. Coaching is a service business. And our goal, our mission, our promise is to give something powerful and good to clients so that they are blessed. Remember, service is a gift or a blessing, something that helps the life of the receiver. That's what service is. If what I do or what you do doesn't bless the life of the receiver, then it wasn't service. It was something else. Sometimes people do things that look like service because they want to feel good. Companies do that. They participate in community activities. They fund them, and they don't really know what good it does or doesn't do, but they want to have some feel-good points, and they want to have some brownie points in the community. So let's go with the definition. Service is an act that blesses the life of the receiver. Now, you might pray for somebody, and if it blesses the life of the receiver, even though they don't know it, you rendered some service to them. And it cost you just seconds or minutes and some attention and love. Now, attention and love are real things. I want to share that with you because attention and love are the most powerful. In fact, they're the only things you really have. You have time, T-A-L, time, attention, and love. That's all you own. You own exactly nothing else. And so one of the things I finally figured out is my most important mission is to figure out where I shine my beam of time, attention, and love, and where you shine it, because wherever you shine your time and attention and love, that grows. And you know what? People tell me all the time, well, I think this and this is important. You know what I say? Show me your calendar and show me your bank account, and I'll tell you what you think is important. Because where you put your money, which is your investment tool, and where you put your time, that's what you think is important. All right, so I want to say this today is probably the most important thing. You and I, as creations of the divine, we were built to love and serve each other. One of the things I knew from when I died was that we all have a mission and purpose. And if you want to read about that death experience, there's a book called Meeting God at the Door. But we all have a mission and purpose, and that purpose involves serving. We are here in this world to serve and bless each other. Remember, service is an act that blesses the life of the receiver. An act done willingly and kindly, I guess, that blesses the life of the receiver. Whether you pay for it or not, I buy service all the time, right? Now, one of the things that I can tell you about filling your coaching practice, if you're a coach and your coaching practice isn't full, you know why? You're not serving enough. And here's the poison pill. I used to go try to serve. I used to go try to talk to people, but it was with the idea in the back of my mind, oh, I hope they become a client. I hope they become a client. Oh, what do I have to say to make them want to hire me? That poisons the whole conversation. What I've discovered is the thing I have on my wall now that is my business plan. My business plan's really simple. It says I never look for clients. I look for people to love, opportunities to serve, and problems to solve. And you know what happens when I do that? People want to work together because I've helped them solve a problem. I gave a class Monday. Today's Wednesday, and I'm giving another class today in the Love 'em, Coach 'em, Sign 'em series. Love them, coach them, sign them, and it is about how to serve in a way that makes people just want to sign up with you as a client for your coaching practice. Because the coaching business is a service business. It's the people encouragement business. You and I, if you're a coach, you're in the business, and so am I, of blessing people's lives and helping them do stuff, helping them get something they don't have. That's the business we're in. It's that simple. If you teach a principle or an idea, then that's extra. Okay, so for example, I have a class. I run it twice a year. It's called the Dream, Build It, Write It. It's for authors. It's for people trying to write books. So I help them write a book, and I teach them some very specific things about how to identify their own personal story, how to organize it, how to use it powerfully, how to help people with it, and everything else. Now, that's information. The coaching part is the most important part, which is encouraging them to believe in themselves, encouraging themselves to get organized so that they can write their story and everything else. I'm starting my last one for this year on September 10th. If you're interested, send me a private message, because that's the last one I'm doing this year. And next year, they're going to look completely different. I'm only doing 2 a year now from now on, just because it was getting in the way of my real business, which is helping people live that ultimate life, helping people overcome the stories and barriers and blocks, the straitjacket you live in if you're living anything below ultimate joy and prosperity. And that includes cash. Creation of cash is so easy. Creation of cash is easy because money follows value. So all we figure out how to do, you, me, any of us, is how to do something valuable. And then go do it, share it, and serve with it. Remember, service is an act that blesses the life of the receiver. Now, I know you have skill, talent, and power to bless someone's life. How you organize it and how you share it is up to you. You might have a job and you work in an accounting firm and you bless people's lives by having their books kept straight. Or you might decide to be your own business and do the very same service, helping people with their finances and stay out of trouble with Canada Revenue Agency, because I live in Canada, or the IRS when I lived in the U.S. That's a service. You might teach someone how to grow a beautiful garden, but they might not believe they can, and so they don't really plant on time or everything else, and they love listening to you for the encouragement they need to get it done. That's the powerful part of the book process I have. I use the book, The Story Arc, which is a book that I wrote about how to tell your story and write books. But the book itself isn't the magic. All the info is in the book, but you know what? People don't read books and then change their life most of the time. The best the book can do is prompt you or me to take action and get the help we need so we really make change. Why? Change is hard, especially if we've got long-standing habits. So I wanted to talk about service today, whether you own a business and you're watching this on LinkedIn. Service is the key to success. Service is the key to retention of your employees. Service is the key to hiring good people. Remember, service is an act that blesses the life of the receiver. That is service. Now, how the money moves in that is different in every case. Some service is free. Some service we intend to be free. Some service we charge for. It's okay. I pay for service all the time. So do you. The best service is that service given with love and real attention and intention. That's why I love the coaching business so much. You can't be a good coach if you don't have real intention for your client to succeed. If your coaching practice isn't full, or if you are not living your ultimate life, if you're not living a life you love every day, now be honest, are you living a life you love every day? If you're not, why not? Like, what is stopping you from living that life of purpose, prosperity, and joy, really? If you'd like my help, I'd be thrilled to serve you in that capacity, to help you see and create that life of purpose, prosperity, and joy, because that's all I do. I help people live the ultimate life of purpose, prosperity, and joy because I live it. And I have learned after much work and much blood, sweat, and tears to make that real in my life. We'll see you tomorrow.